Welcome back to Rare Coins, all world coin enthusiasts. If you're passionate about discovering hidden treasures and the fascinating world of rare coins, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into a particular penny that might be sitting in your coin jar or your spare change right now, waiting to make you a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1978 Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that might seem unremarkable at first glance, but trust me, there's much more to it than meets the eye. Stick with me as we explore why this penny could be worth far more than just 1 cent. Let's kick things off with some background on the 1978 Lincoln penny. In the late 70s, the U.S. Mint was continuing its tradition of producing 1-cent coins with the familiar Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design had been around for quite a while, but little did most people know that a few of these pennies, particularly the 1978 versions, hold a level of rarity that makes them highly coveted by collectors. While millions of these coins were minted, the condition they were in when they left the mint is what really matters today. Now, why does the 1978 Lincoln 1 cent have a place on the radar of serious collectors? The answer lies in condition and rarity. Like many other coins, most of the 1978 pennies were widely circulated and, as a result, have been subjected to wear, tear, and environmental factors over the years. However, finding one of these coins in mint condition, meaning it has been carefully preserved and hasn't been circulated, becomes increasingly difficult with time. These pristine pennies are the holy grail for numismatists, and if you happen to find a 1978 penny that has been well kept and remains nearly flawless, it could be worth a significant amount. But that's not all. There's something even more exciting to look out for: minting errors. Minting errors happen when the coin doesn't meet the usual standards during the manufacturing process, leading to unique flaws that make a coin stand out. Coins with these errors are considered rare and are often more valuable than their regular counterparts. The 1978 Lincoln penny is no exception, and there are several types of minting errors that could boost the value of your penny. One error to watch out for is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin is struck more than once during the minting process, causing a doubling effect on the design, such as the word "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" appearing more than once. Double die coins are highly sought after by collectors because they're one of a kind, and if you come across a 1978 Lincoln penny with this error, you might just have a rare gem on your hands. Another minting error to look for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to be struck off-center. This creates a distinctive look that stands out from regular, perfectly aligned coins, and it's something collectors absolutely love. If you find a 1978 penny with an off-center strike, you could be holding onto something worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So, now that you know what makes the 1978 Lincoln 1 cent special, you might be wondering just how much one of these rare coins could actually be worth. Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1978 penny in uncirculated condition or one that features a rare minting error, it could be worth $53,000. Yes, you heard that right, $53,000 for a single 1978 Lincoln penny. While it may seem hard to believe, it's true. A coin in pristine condition or with a unique error can fetch impressive prices at auctions or with collectors who are on the lookout for such treasures. So, the next time you're sorting through your coin collection or sifting through spare change, take a closer look at your 1978 Lincoln pennies. You might just have one of these rare, valuable coins waiting to be discovered. Today's video is going to blow your mind. We're talking about a coin that many people overlook: the 1973 Lincoln 1 cent. It may seem like just another penny at first glance, but as you're about to find out, there's a lot more to this seemingly simple coin than meets the eye. Get ready, because this could be a game changer for your coin collection. Let's take a moment to travel back to 1973. The U.S. Mint was in full production of the Lincoln 1 cent coin, with Abraham Lincoln's iconic portrait on the obverse and the familiar memorial reverse design. Millions of these coins were produced that year, and they were circulating in the hands of everyday Americans. However, What most people didn't know back then is that some of these coins would eventually become highly sought after by collectors decades later. The primary reason the 1973 Lincoln penny is so special is its rarity and the condition it's found in today. When we think of pennies, we often picture worn-out, tarnished coins. After all, they've been around for decades. But what makes certain 1973 pennies so valuable is how well they've been preserved. Most of these coins were used in daily transactions, meaning they were subject to wear and tear, scratches, and even environmental damage. But there are some out there, tucked away in perfect condition, waiting to be discovered. Finding an uncirculated 1973 penny is quite rare, and that's what collectors are looking for, but it doesn't stop there. There's another factor that can make the 1973 Lincoln 1 cent incredibly valuable: minting errors. These occur when something goes wrong during the manufacturing process, and the result is a unique coin with a defect or irregularity that makes it stand out. For collectors, these mint errors can turn an otherwise ordinary penny into a prized treasure. And the 1973 Lincoln penny is no exception. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1973 series is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, causing some parts of the design, such as "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," to appear doubled. If you're lucky enough to find a 1973 penny with this error, you've got yourself a rare coin that can demand a premium price. Double die coins are some of the most coveted in the numismatic world because of their distinct look and limited supply, but that's not all. There are also off-center strike errors to look out for. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be stamped off-center. The result is a coin that looks like it was struck at a funny angle, and it's exactly this unique feature that collectors love. Off-center strike errors, especially when they're significant, can add considerable value to a coin, turning a simple penny into a prized possession. Now, let's get to the exciting part: how much could a 1973 Lincoln 1 cent be worth? You might be surprised to hear that if you have one of these coins in uncirculated condition or with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000 for a single 1973 Lincoln penny. Imagine finding that coin tucked away in a coin jar or an old collection. It's amazing to think how a coin that was once part of your everyday change could be worth so much today. So, what's the takeaway? The 1973 Lincoln 1 cent is more than just a penny, it's a potential treasure that could hold incredible value if you find the right one. Whether it's in perfect condition or it has a unique minting error, this coin has earned its place in the hearts of collectors. So, next time you're going through your spare change, take a moment to examine those pennies carefully. You could have a gem on your hands. We're diving into the world of the 1974 Lincoln 1 cent coin, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but as you'll soon see, it's anything but. Stick around to find out just how much this little penny could be worth and what makes it so special. Now, let's take a trip back in time to 1974. The United States was in the midst of a lot of economic changes. The Vietnam War had just ended, the country was facing inflation, and the economy was still adjusting. During this time, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln 1 cent coins, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the famous memorial design on the reverse. But while most of these coins were spent quickly in everyday transactions, some of them would eventually become highly valuable and sought after by collectors. What makes the 1974 Lincoln 1 cent so interesting, you ask? Well, there's more to it than just the year. The key to understanding why this penny is valuable lies in its rarity and condition. Most of these coins circulated widely and saw a lot of wear and tear. They were dropped, scratched, and rubbed against other coins for decades. But here's the exciting part: if you come across one of these pennies in unblemished, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than you think. Uncirculated coins are far rarer than most people realize, and that's what makes them so appealing to collectors. But wait, there's more. What really sets the 1974 Lincoln 1 cent apart are the minting errors that can occur during production. Mint errors are one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting because they make the coin even more unique and valuable. There are several types of errors to look out for in the 1974 penny, with some being rarer than others. One of the most highly prized errors is the double die error. This happens when the die used to stamp the coin doesn't align properly during the minting process, causing some parts of the design to appear doubled. If you find a 1974 Lincoln penny with a double die error, you found something incredibly special. The doubling on key areas like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" can make the coin extremely valuable to collectors, who see this as a major prize in their collection. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't properly aligned in the press, causing the design to be stamped off-center. Off-center coins can be quite dramatic, and the more off-center the strike, the more valuable it is. A heavily off-center 1974 penny could fetch a substantial amount of money, making it a very exciting find for collectors who enjoy hunting for these rare coins. Now, let's talk about the price. Just how much is a 1974 Lincoln 1 cent worth? If you manage to get your hands on an uncirculated version or one with a minting error, you could be looking at a stunning value of $54,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $54,000 for a single 1974 penny. That's a huge amount of money for a coin that most people would overlook. This just goes to show how much a little knowledge and attention to detail can make a difference in the world of coin collecting. So, if you have any 1974 Lincoln 1 cent coins lying around, it's definitely worth taking a closer look at them. Pay attention to the condition, check for any minting errors, and you might just discover that you've got a hidden treasure on your hands. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might have tossed around in your pocket without a second thought, a 1979 Lincoln 1 cent. Now, before you dismiss this coin as just another penny, you might want to think twice. This small piece of currency could be hiding a huge secret that could make it worth a small fortune. Stick with us as we uncover the incredible story behind the 1979 Lincoln penny, the rare errors that could be lurking, and just how much this little coin could be worth today. So, what makes the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent so special? For starters, it's a part of U.S. coinage history during an interesting time. The country was in the midst of the late 1970s, a time marked by economic challenges such as rising inflation and the energy crisis. While the economy was going through turbulence, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing millions of pennies, including the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent. The design on this coin is the classic Lincoln Memorial, showcasing Abraham Lincoln's statue in the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which was first introduced in 1959. But what most people don't realize is that some of these coins produced in 1979 are far more valuable than you might expect. The reason for this is the rarity of certain errors and the overall condition of the coins that survived the test of time. Now, let's talk about the rarity factor. The 1979 penny wasn't the most unusual coin ever minted, but it's the surviving examples, those that have managed to escape wear and tear over the years, that can fetch a pretty penny. Uncirculated versions of the 1979 penny are far less common than you might think. When coins are used in circulation, they undergo constant friction, which leaves them scratched, dinged, and generally worn down. But if you come across a 1979 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, you've already got yourself a rare find. But wait, there's more. As with any coin in the world of collecting, minting errors play a huge role in driving up the value. And when it comes to the 1979 Lincoln penny, there are a few minting errors that collectors are always on the lookout for. The double die error is one of the most sought-after mistakes in any coin collection. This error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, causing the design to be imprinted twice. Imagine seeing "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" clearly doubled. It's a striking feature that immediately increases the coin's value. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. Sometimes, the coin gets misaligned during the minting process, and this results in an off-center image. This can create a stunning, one-of-a-kind look for the coin that will leave collectors drooling. The more extreme the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value of the 1979 Lincoln 1 cent. If you happen to find one of these coins in uncirculated condition or, better yet, with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small treasure. Are you ready for it? The price of a 1979 Lincoln penny with the right conditions and errors could fetch a staggering $66,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $66,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, right? But that's the magic of the coin world. A small mistake or the right condition can turn a humble penny into a collector's dream. So, if you've got a jar of pennies lying around or if you're out there hunting for hidden gems, take a closer look at any 1979 Lincoln 1 cent coins you find. Check the condition carefully, look for those minting errors like double dies or off-center strikes, and you could discover something truly special. Today, we have something truly special to talk about, the 1978 Lincoln 1 cent penny. While this may seem like a typical coin that you'd find in your spare change, it could actually be worth more than you think. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end of this video to find out just how much this penny could fetch in the right condition. The 1978 Lincoln penny is part of the iconic series featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design was first introduced in 1959, and it became one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. coinage history. But the 1978 version stands out for reasons you might not expect. When we think of pennies, we don't always associate them with big values. After all, pennies are typically the lowest denomination in the U.S. currency system. But in the world of coin collecting, it's not just about the year, it's about rarity, condition, and sometimes even the errors that occurred during the minting process. Now, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1978 Lincoln pennies were minted, finding one in mint condition is what sets it apart. Over the years, most of these coins have circulated and suffered from wear and tear. If you're lucky enough to come across one of these pennies in pristine, uncirculated condition, you've already stumbled upon something pretty special. Coins that have survived the years in such remarkable shape are much rarer than you might think. But what really gets collectors excited are the errors that sometimes happen during the minting process. Coins with these errors can be incredibly valuable, and the 1978 penny is no exception. The double die error is one of the most famous and valuable errors that can occur on any coin. It happens when the die that strikes the coin is misaligned, creating a clear doubling effect on the lettering or design. Imagine seeing the words, "Liberty" or, "In God We Trust," doubled. This is the type of coin that collectors are constantly hunting for, and it can significantly boost the value of a coin. Another error to keep an eye out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to appear off-center. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can become. These types of mistakes make the coin visually unique and one-of-a-kind, making it highly sought after by serious collectors. But here's the exciting part: what could a 1978 Lincoln penny in great condition, or one with a minting error, be worth today? Are you ready for this? The value could reach an impressive $69,000, yes, you heard me right, $69,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth that much, but in the world of coin collecting, anything is possible when rarity, condition, and errors align. So, if you have a collection of pennies lying around, or if you happen to spot a 1978 penny in your pocket change, don't overlook it. Take a closer look. Examine the condition, check for any errors, and you might just have a hidden treasure on your hands. Whether it's a double die error or an off-center strike, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than face value. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this information fascinating and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery. Happy hunting, and we'll see you in the next video.